My name is Bob Mennick, and I'm running for Supervisor in Goochland County District 4. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, and members of the Chamber for setting this event up this evening. Hopefully we'll get a few more people in tonight to hear from the candidates. Again, thanks for inviting me here. Just in brief background, my wife Kathy and I have lived in Goochland since 2006. By way of 21 years in the military. I'm a graduate of the University of Wyoming and hold a master's degree from the American University in Washington, D.C. In addition to several master's certificates from Villanova in information technology program management. When I transitioned from the Army in 2000, began my commercial career in the healthcare sector, first in sales, next in consulting, and also in the healthcare delivery sector, working at both Children's Hospital in Philadelphia and a small multi-hospital network, community healthcare network in southern New Jersey. We were fortunate enough to be able to relocate here in 2006 with a job transfer, and in 2007 I opened my own small business here. I employ 5 people, and we're in the business of distributing specialty medical products to hospitals throughout the country, and in fact do some work internationally as well. I just wanted to say that I think part of the reason we're on this campaign path is because we believe we need to offer a choice to our citizens here as we go through some difficult economic times. And I appreciate, again, the invitation to be here tonight, and I'm sure we'll be discussing at great length some of our issues, and look forward to having that discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up will be Rudy Butler, and again we ask that you please include the district or position that you plan to represent.
I'm Rudy Butler, and I represent the 4th District now. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for having this event this afternoon. I've been a member of the Chamber of Commerce for over 20 years when we started a small business here, and I'm still a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I support small and large businesses, and I think that's what makes Goochland unique, is that we have big companies like Cap One, but we also have people that actually work out of their homes and small businesses. In Goochland County now, we have an unemployment rate of about 6.3, and normally we run 2.4 and down there when times are good. So we have a lot of people that are looking for jobs, and we need to take care of these people. We need to bring businesses into the county. To do that, back about a year ago, a couple of us in the county were concerned about economic development. We went out to see the Greater Virginia Partnerships for Economic Development through Bob Sled, who lives in our county, got that appointment. He's working for the governor for nothing. So we went and they showed us a file, and this convinced me we needed to do something about jobs and economic development in this county. They had one small brochure that was outdated in the file, so we ended up hiring a consultant to come in after we had the meeting at Sergeant Reynolds, and which many of you attended, and the chamber back, and to have a vision and a plan for economic growth in Goochland County to provide a tax base. They recommended many things. The study is out now. One thing they recommended was hiring an economic development person, and that person is in the process of, we're getting in the process of doing that. We need to find a solution to the add-on tax. I've been bringing that up constantly. The bad part about it, it hinders our economic development prospects. It also hurts the resale of houses. I support fire and rescue in this county. We have a great fire and rescue volunteer people, and I think we need to go overboard to support these people. I will work with, one of the things the consultant brought up was...
Mr. Butler, your time is up. Thank you. Up next, Alan Tucker.
Thank you to the Chamber for hosting the event, and thank you for all the candidates for participating in the process. We all know there are issues and challenges facing Goochland that need to be addressed, and I'm committed to finding solutions. There is a need for the governing body here in Goochland to work together in taking all the pieces of the puzzle that have been identified as keeping us from attaining our objectives as set out by the county mission statement and broadly outlined in the 20-year comprehensive plan. The need for a cooperative, transparent level of communication between the Board of Supervisors and the school board, between the Board of Supervisors and all county agencies, and the Board of Supervisors and the people. We know what the mission is, but we have had no actionable plan to work together on issues and problems that have been identified. Creation and execution of a viable economic plan that will improve our tax base, improve Goochland's opportunity to bring high-wage jobs and people who want to maintain our rural culture, so important to the citizens of this county. Creation of an education system that provides a platform for our youth to compete for academics, professional and vocational opportunities, responsible growth, and land use policies that drive economic gain. I'm committed to finding solutions to these. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, Mr. Ned Creasy.
Good evening. I want to thank the Chamber and all involved in putting this forum together, and I'd like to thank all of you that showed up here tonight and taking time out this beautiful evening to come here to see your government at the grassroots level. I just wish this thing would be bulging with people. It's hard to believe that nearly 4 years ago passed since I stood up on this platform. Now it's my intent and in the form to run for District 3 Supervisor. And that's known as the Courthouse District, which I know you all know that's where we're at now. My motto was responsible, responsive, and reliable leadership. And as you know, I kept digging. I felt that I dug out a lot of these problems that my opponent has mentioned that we need to find solutions to. And the process of that is just in 4 years, there just was more problems than there was time to get all the solutions for. And it's going to take some time to get these solutions worked out. They're not going to be worked out overnight. And I know there was much to be done when I ran. Problem is, I just had no idea how much there was to do. It was just, it seemed like every rock you turned over, there was something that you had to deal with. And, I've got some solutions in mind. They're very preliminary. I think we've started it on the way with, we got a new county administrator, we got a new county attorney, and so forth. And that's a big step in solving solutions. You got to get reasonable people together that can sit down and come to reasonable solutions and put these plans in effect and go. And the worst thing we do is jump the gun and put a bad plan into effect and then have it to deal with, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years from now. So, well, we got a chance to clean this slate and basically start from scratch. It's my intention that we start right and do it the right way every step of the way. And I just would ask you for your support.
Thank you. Up next, Mr.
ladies and gentlemen, Chamber, the moderator, and fellow and lady candidates here from Goochland County. I am William Quarles, Jr. of District 2, the incumbent supervisor. One of the things that I wanted to come tonight, and I'm happy to be able to do this, is to let you know and understand what my guiding principles are as far as governance is concerned. One, the first thing there is to meeting the needs of the citizens and the businesses. That's why the Chamber, of course, is having this particular event. Supporting and encouraging the participations of citizens within their government. Being accessible, not only being accessible, but being willing to pick up that phone, talk to you, and listen to what you have to say. And finally, ensuring fair and transparent government. Before anyone ever started thinking and talking about transparency in government, those were the things that I would always talk about. Also having processes and procedures in place to do our county business. The days of shaking a hand and smiling was a wonderful time, but now there are a lot of savvy people dealing with businesses with the county, and we have to ensure that our processes will be able to be done over and over again. With that in mind, just to let you know a couple of things, I am probably the only certified county commissioner. I am a certified county board of supervisor, and I have attended the Citizens Leadership group in Washington, D.C., selected among 22, well, selected among the United States to represent this area in Washington, D.C. Things that I do is done for not me, but for the citizens of Goochland County. I am the best candidate for District 2, and I would encourage and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have an opening statement from Manuel Alvarez.
Hello, I'm Manuel Alvarez, candidate for Board of Supervisors District 2. I want to thank the Chamber. I think we're going to be really tight if I win this election, because one of the things that I want to do is bring jobs to Goochland. I won't tell you a lot about my biography except for just the little things that I think set up where I come from. I was born in Cuba. I came to the U.S. at the age of 14. I started in the U.S. with nothing, but what I received here was a great education, including when I graduated high school, I already had a 2-year degree in electronic technology. That degree allowed me to get a job right out of high school that paid for my college education, so I never had to take any loans. And that's one of the things that I think we can do for Goochland children. Not everybody is ready for college out of high school. I wasn't mature enough, and the good thing was that I was working during the day, taking a few classes at night until I became more mature and could go a little more. But I've been in Goochland since 2004. My wife and I settled here after a stint of about 3 years in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have worked for Altria for 30 years. I've never thought of myself as a real steady guy, but when I look back at my history, I've had a career of 30 years. I've been married for 34 years. So I guess I am pretty steady. But we came to Goochland, and from day one in Goochland, I realized we had some issues in county government. I was trying to get cable when I went to the county to try to find out get a copy of the Comcast agreement. Finally got a copy. I studied it from end to end. Started looking for some of the reports that Comcast was supposed to provide, and they were non-existent. Eventually, I got some of those reports directly from Comcast, but I realized then that we had an issue in our county management office. Luckily, we have corrected that small problem. But in the meantime, I think what really drove me to run was some of the issues that have popped up the last few years. The checks in the drawers in the utilities department, the treasurer, and then when the treasurer issue came up, I felt there was a lack of accountability from our leaders in saying, okay, we screwed up, we got to fix it. If it hadn't been for a bank employee, we'd probably still be sending money to Ethiopia or wherever that money was going. So what I will do for you is make a promise that I will stay open and communicate regularly with my constituents. I've committed to holding quarterly town hall meetings in District 2, and I will listen to your questions and be available to take your suggestions. Thank you again for being here, and stick around.
Thank you very much. Our next opening statement will come from Susan Lascolette.
Good evening. I'd like to begin by asking you a question. To think about, why do you like to live in Goochland County? And we probably share some of the same answers to that question. I like living here because I love the people. I like the beauty of the county and our location. I like the fact that it's a rural county. I like that, at least so far, our property taxes are low. And I like our location. And these are the things that I am passionate about protecting, because they're the things that make Goochland County home to me. But make no mistake about it, we have some serious issues facing us as a county. And tonight I know we're going to hear some great comments, ideas, and suggestions of the way government maybe can help us fix some of our problems. But while we're doing that, I'd like for you to think about it a little different way. I'd like you to think for a minute about what government can't do. Our rights to life, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness are God-given. They are not bestowed on us by the government. In fact, the only legitimate purpose of government is to protect our rights. So when our government meets in secrecy, or our government enacts onerous regulations and laws, or our government levies heavy-handed taxes and fines, that erodes all of our liberties. These are the things government should not do. And by not doing them, we open the way and pave the way for opportunity and fairness and equal justice for every citizen in the county. My name is Susan Lascolette. I am running for District 1 Board of Supervisors. My business background is in risk management insurance. I've worked with managing people in projects, worked with writing and negotiating contracts. My principles include constitutional adherence, free and fair markets, limited government, fiscal responsibility, and virtue, accountability, and transparency in government. If I am fortunate enough to be elected to the Board of Supervisors, I will pledge that I will do the things that government should do and refrain from doing the things government should not do. Thank you.
Our next opening statement will come from Mr. Andrew Pryor. Mr. Pryor.
It's been an honor to represent the people of District 1 in the past. And you know, I'm a candidate for re-election on November the 8th. My wife and I operate a dairy farm and grain farm in the West End, District 1, West End of the county. I've lived and worked in Goochland all my life. As the owner of a small business, I'm as much aware of the tax burden as anybody. Unfortunately, Goochland is dealing with the same economic downturn that our country has. Our board has worked hard in the past few years to maintain services and support our school's budget on a declining budget. I've always supported school. Education is the key for our youth and for our county. We need to prepare students for the future. Brenda and I have 3 grown children. All of them attended Goochland School, and all of them, I'm thankful to say, went through college and graduated. In maintaining an outstanding school system, I think is what we need to draw business to our county. We have an excellent school system, and I will continue to support it. Tuckahoe Creek Service District has been a concern to many people. While the county will benefit from the taxes that are paid in the Tuckahoe Creek Service District, the landowners within that district are the ones that are going to profit from it in the long run. The bonds were set up to be paid by the property owners within the district. As the district develops and more businesses come into it, and I've always said never wavered from one iota. The bonds were set up to be paid down there, and that's where they got to come from. I'm 100% in favor of them paying, regardless of what anyone tells you. You can't find anybody, private, public, or county administrator that I've ever wavered from it one bit.
Working in agriculture, I feel strongly we maintain our rural character. The county's comprehensive plan is reviewed and updated on a regular basis, and I think that is a guide that all of us have used in trying to control growth and try to maintain our rural character. I support the family and small commercial business, and I'm committed to the search of high quality commercial and industrial development for the Tuckahoe Creek Service District that will not only provide jobs for our citizens but also help our tax base. I appreciate your support and vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next opening statement is coming from Tana Pogue.
Hello, it's nice to see y'all tonight. I just wanted to start off by saying I'm not a politician and I'm not a public speaker, so this is really overwhelming to me. I was raised in Goochland County and I love living here. I'm a hard worker, honest and impartial, and have great people skills. I've worked in the various aspects of dealing with cash in the public sector. I manage the cleaners at Broadview Shopping Center. I've kept the books for my husband's business and my own business. I'm good at delegating responsibility and also have an eye for detail. I have a methodical way of thinking, which is important when dealing with finances. It is vital that the person who is elected to the job of treasurer is honest and trustworthy. Our higher education does not guarantee this. When I graduated Goochland High School in 1985, I went into retail. Then I waitressed. That's when I learned it was all about the people. When you live knowing you're always accountable for your words and actions, things seem to go better for everyone involved. Then I managed the cleaners, met my husband, and started doing his paperwork, and did a business of my own and did my paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up with an opening statement is Pam Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pamela Johnson. I currently serve as interim treasurer of Goochland County, and I'm running for that office and hope that I will be elected on November 8th. Just to give you a brief bit of information on my background, I grew up in Roanoke, Virginia. I graduated from Radford University and I taught school in the Roanoke City Schools a number of years ago. 17 and a half or 18 years ago now, I took a job with the U.S. Department of Justice as a contractor. My first service was at the U.S. Marshals Service in Roanoke, and then I transferred to the Drug Enforcement Administration office in Roanoke, and then in 2002 moved up